Denise Amnon, born in Aleppo, Syria.
Maybe louder.
It's okay. 1926, November 16, 1926. And grew up in Aleppo, but not much, because in 1939, when the war started, there were no more school in Syria. And my mother didn't want to have all the kids at home, so we moved to Beirut, Lebanon, which my father had already his bank in Beirut. So and my brother and sister were born in Beirut, some in Syria, some in Beirut.
Okay. Do you remember your grandparents?
Yes.
Can you talk about them a little bit? What are your memories of them? Were they religious?
My grandfather was a rabbi on his own, praying all day long at home. My grandmother go play the card all the time. And when she said, I don't feel good, my uncle tell her, go and play cards, you'll feel better.
Okay.
That's my father and mother. But I never met my mother or father.
Okay. So tell me about your parents. How did they meet each other?
I think it was my aunt, Esther Safra, the mother, who introduced them. That's what they told me, I don't know.
So what is your father's name and where was he born?
In Aleppo, Syria, Hillel Mahmoud.
Okay. What was his profession?
Banker.
And what about your mother? What was her name? And
Matilde.
Where was she born?
In Syria.
What was her maiden name?
Safra.
Okay. Do you know how old your parents were when they got married?
Very young. My mother maybe was 16, 17. Because at that time and she didn't have children for 4 years. And my grandmother took her to the doctor and said, she didn't have children. I said, don't worry, she will. And after 4 years, I came.
Aww. And you're the oldest?
And the oldest.
So can you tell me about your brothers and sisters and were you close to them growing up?
Yeah, we were close. We still are close, I hope. But everybody in a different corner of the world. And last summer, my brother invited me. I went to Monte Carlo. He is the president of the Hebrew University for the south of France. And he invited me a lot to go and see them. And when they have a bar mitzvah or wedding or something, they call me, come, I go.
So can you please tell me some of your early memories from childhood and where you grew up?
Between Aleppo and Beirut.
And what do you remember about your family and the holidays? What are some of your memories from childhood?
Very religious, very religious. We can't eat meat and
Milky.
before 6 hours. And no Shabbat. We don't go in the car, we don't go to a movie. When I was young, but when I got older, I got more modern.
Were most of your friends Jewish?
Yes, and I have some non-Jewish.
Were the non-Jewish friends Christians or
Christian and Muslim.
Okay. What languages did you speak at home with your family?
Arabic and French.
No Ladino.
No Ladino.
Okay. What languages did you speak with non-Jewish people?
Some, if they're Muslim, Arabic. If they're Christian, French.
Can you tell me about the schools that you went to?
I told you I went to Lycée Français, French school. I went to American school for girls. And I went to a nursing school, Beirut.
What are some of your positive memories from school as a younger girl? What did you learn about? What did the school give to you? Lycée Français and...
Excuse me?
What did you learn? What were some of your memories of your school?
It was nice. We had a good time.
Okay.
A lot of friends. And
did you live in a Jewish area of Aleppo?
yes.
Can you tell me about the neighborhood that you grew up in?
It was a big Khan, what is it?
Apartment building.
Apartment building, that's it. Apartment building. big house. And we used to live with my grandparents. And after they built another floor up and we went up.
Was it in a Jewish part of?
Yes.
So what was the Jewish community like? Did you have a shuk? What were there many synagogues? Did everyone know each other? What was the community?
There were some synagogues, not too many. Few, 2, 3, I remember.
And so you said that your father was a rabbi?
My grandfather.
So he was a leader in the Jewish community there?
No, for his own.
Not practicing.
Not practicing at home.
Uh-huh.
Was reading all day long at home. My father.
Was social grace important to your family, like how you interacted with everyone? Was it important to be, like how you interacted with the rabbi or your teacher or the neighbors? Was there like a lot of social?
Yes, maybe, I don't remember.
Mm-hmm. So what are some of the memories of the foods that your parents and your grandparents made for you?
The Syrian food. Kibbeh, you know kibbeh?
Mm-hmm.
You like kibbeh?
Mm-hmm.
Laham ajin. Friday night they had fish with salmon and parsley and I don't know. My aunt used to make every Friday the fish. It was good.
Do you remember the holidays?
Yes.
What was it like for your community?
Well, the holiday we were in a resort in Lebanon. And believe it or not, because of my grandfather who was religious, we used to have the holiday in our house. My uncle used to go to Beirut synagogue and bring the sefer. And all the people are vacationing in Lebanon, the mountain of Lebanon, used to come to our house for the high holiday.
Wow.
And they used to bring the sefer from Beirut to our house. And they used to take a shohet from Aleppo to the resort because we stayed 3 months in the resort. And the shohet was going to the to cut
The slaughterhouse.
the slaughterhouse early in the morning. And after he did the shopping, the marketing, for my grandparents. And we had a lot of people from Iraq, from Iran, vacationing, came for the high holiday to our house.
Wow.
They had a synagogue in the house, in the mountain of Lebanon. And the name of the town was so far. Bas Hamdon.
That's special.
Mm-hmm. My father, my mother, and no, we don't eat meat until 6 hours, and no pork, and religious.
So did you guys interact with Muslims and
Yes,
Christians?
yes, visiting, yeah.
Did your father have any business?
Yes,
And you had friends?
yes. In fact, one of his friends bought his business in Aleppo.
Wow.
Before he moved to Beirut completely.
So, do you remember the name of your synagogue in Aleppo?
There was Silvera Synagogue, I remember. The Silvera Synagogue, and was another one, I don't remember the name.
Were there any special traditions that your family kept that were very unique?
Don't remember.
What about like any special customs for a brit or a bar mitzvah or wedding, funerals, pilgrimages?
Same like anybody else.
Did anyone from your community ever go to Jerusalem?
At the moment, no, but now, yes. Because my mother, my father, my brother, my uncle, they're all buried in Jerusalem. And at the moment, my brother from New York, his wife, his kids, my sister from Milan, was her husband and her son, are in Tel Aviv for Passover.
Do you have any unique superstitions in your family?
Superstition?
Yeah.
No, not that I remember.
Okay. Were you involved with any Jewish organizations?
The Maccabi.
Can you describe what it
Very,
was?
very, not too long. It was a Jewish organization. You heard of it, the Maccabi?
Mm-hmm.
I don't remember much of it.
Would you say that you guys were your family were Zionists? Did you support Israel?
Yes, they support Israel.
So did you have Arab neighbors who you were very close to?
Yes, in the summertime. In the summertime, our next door neighbor were Muslim, and apparently the grandmother was Jewish. We were close, friendly, close. And Christian friend from school.
So do you have any memories that you would like to share about your childhood? Anything specific?
Like what?
Like anything about being a Jewish girl in Aleppo and your community. The Aleppo Jewish community has such like strong pride and history, and with Aleppo Codex and.
I don't remember.
No. Okay. So can you tell me about why your father left Aleppo and went to Lebanon, and what?
Because there were no more school. All the French school were closed.
No more foreign school. I mean,
No more foreign school. And my mother didn't want all the kids at home, so we went to Beirut.
What did he do with all of his business and with his?
I told you he sold it to his Muslim friend, the bank in Aleppo. We had another one in Beirut, from before, before he moved.
And the house he sold in Aleppo?
We still have the house in Aleppo. I don't know what happened.
Wow, that's amazing.
Mm.
When he sold the business, did he sell it for a good price?
I don't remember. I was very young.
Yeah. So when you went to Lebanon, was it a happy time for you?
Yes, very happy. Very happy. My aunt was there, mother of Safra.
Mm-hmm.
And we were there all the time. And Beirut was much nicer than Aleppo. Much more modern, much more sophisticated, I would say.
So were the people friendly in?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. And we were very close with our Christian and Muslim friend.
Okay. So why did you leave Lebanon?
Because of the Israel problem. My parents moved to Milan, Italy in the 60s. And my father took all his Oriental rock, all his silver, all his everything, took it to Milan, Italy. Why Milan, Italy? Because I had an older brother who was living in Milan, and they decided to go and be near him.
And the Lebanese let you leave? They let you take
Yes,
everything?
everything.
Was it because of anti-Semitism?
Probably anti-Semitism and the Israel war.
What was it like to be a Jewish person in Lebanon while Lebanon's having wars with Israel?
I wasn't there. I left in 52.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
But we went to visit a few times.
And so what year did all of your siblings leave? Did they
1960, I told you.
Was it hard for them to leave?
I don't remember. I wasn't with them.
But you see, he was married in 52.
Yeah.
She got
And I
married
was here in 1960. I was here in Chicago
Wow.
So she came to Istanbul to visit
my uncle
the uncle, and then she decided to stay.
because I met my future husband. And when I get mad at him, I say, I wish I never went to Istanbul.
So what did your community leave behind in Beirut?
Synagogue. We didn't have an apartment, we were renting. And the memory from Aleppo, we had a very famous chandelier, much bigger than this one. And after my brother passed away and my cousin, my uncle and my father donated to the temple in Beirut. And now I heard it disappeared. It's not there. Who knows?
Does it make you feel sad when you think about?
Yeah. Because they donated in the memory of my brother to the synagogue of Beirut, and somebody stole it, I don't know.
When you think about just how the Jewish life in Lebanon is pretty much
Now,
gone,
there is no more Jewish left, very few if there is.
and you think Like they left because of anti-Semitism.
Yeah, because they were afraid of the Israeli war but I heard there are some Jewish, and I heard there is a Picciotto family in Milan.
Okay, so what are your last memories from Beirut?
I took my son, my husband, to visit my parents a couple times.
Yeah.
And 1957, before we came to Chicago, we went there for a couple of weeks to see my parents. And that's the last time I was in Lebanon, 57.
Was it a good trip, or did you feel like the Jews needed?
No.
It was bad?
No, it wasn't bad.
It was good?
It was okay, I mean normal.
Okay, so you went to Turkey?
To Istanbul.
So tell me about Istanbul.
I went to visit my uncle, my mother, brother, who lived in Istanbul with his wife and had no children. And at the time, there was no telephone, letters only. And he always tell my mother, I have nobody from the family here. And one day my mother said, you want to go and visit your uncle? He is lonely for the family. So I said, okay, I'll go and visit my uncle. I went to visit my uncle, who was also a banker in Istanbul, and his wife, and went to a wedding. And I met Renee at somebody else's wedding. Somebody introduced us.
And you fell in love right away?
No.
And then so you moved to Turkey, to Istanbul, and you lived there for a while. Married? You stayed after you got married?
Yes. I was with my uncle 6 months, 8 months.
Did you like Istanbul?
Yeah, it was nice.
Yeah.
The Beirut was nicer to me.
Yeah. Warmer, probably a little bit warmer.
Mm.
So why did you just come to the United States?
Because he was being Jewish in Istanbul, people was somehow afraid. A lot of them went to Canada because the visa was easier, and some went to US. And we came here, I didn't know we were going to be here 50 more years.
Did you ever feel fear in Beirut or Aleppo or in Istanbul?
Aleppo, I don't remember much. Beirut, when I was single, not much, a little bit maybe.
Istanbul?
No.
No? Okay. So why did you decide to come to Chicago and not?
Because he had a job, he had a job contract.
So what have you done to maintain your Sephardi heritage?
Not much. We go to Sephardic synagogue. Our food is Sephardic. I don't like gefilte fish and all these things. I forgot to tell you, I worked at Marshall Field when I came here.
Oh yeah?
I came here, no relative, no friend, nobody. And I was going there every day anyway. So I said, we have to apply here for a job. And somebody said on the 10th floor, I went there. I said, did you ever work? I said, no, but I speak 5 languages. So they hired me right away.
Wow.
I said, I want to leave at 3 o'clock because I have a little boy. I don't want to work Saturday. I don't want to do everything I want. They said yes. And all the buyers that went to Italy to buy the collection, they went to visit my mother, my father.
Really?
For tea, for lunch, for drink, for whatever. And, in our country, if you don't need the money, you don't work. But here, everybody works. So my father said, my poor daughter is working. So they sent me a gift with my buyer, the one who go to visit them.
That's sweet. Which Marshall Field?
State Street.
Wow, the big one.
The big one. And I was in the designer section.
Wow.
$2,000 dress, a suit, a coat. And I met Elizabeth Taylor. I met Audrey Hepburn, John Travolta.
Running or is it stop?
No, it's still going.
No. John Travolta. And at the beginning, there was a guy and my colleague, and I said, are you to Tennessee Ernie Ford? You know who is Tennessee Ernie Ford?
Mm-hmm.
And I said, what is that? He said, this is me. He said, that girl must not watch TV. I said, no, I don't watch you. He said, what you do on Thursday night? I said, I watch The Untouchable. But from now on, I'll watch you. He was the same time of The Untouchable.
So did you ever feel discrimination in the United States from Ashkenazi Jews?
No,
No.
no.
Okay. Is there anything else that you want to talk about from being Sephardic?
Sephardic. We still tradition, the Sephardic food, the Sephardic...
Do you miss Istanbul or Beirut?
No, I love Chicago. I like to go on vacation to visit, but I wasn't there for a long time.
So if you could choose to be anywhere, you're happy that you were here?
I'm happy in Chicago because I'm used to it. I like my apartment, I like my transportation, location.
Yeah. Your view is
No, and I have the bus at the door. The bus
Yeah.
going, coming at the door. And I'm very independent.
Do you feel like a lot was left behind? Like culture and material wealth and history. Do you feel that when your family and your community left Beirut, that you really left a lot behind?
I told you they had no real estate in Beirut, only in Aleppo. No, but my father was very happy to leave because peace of mind, to sleep, quiet.
Because it was difficult to be Jewish?
Yeah, it was. They were, all the Jewish people were, a lot of them went to Brazil. That's when the Safra went to Brazil. A lot of people went to Brazil at the time.
Yeah.
A lot went to Israel. The poor went to Israel. The rich went to Europe and to Brazil.
Okay. I think that's it.
And what else?
Unless there's anything else.
And
And so you mixed okay with the Ashkenazi Jews?
oh yes,
Do you ever meet other Lebanese or Syrian people here?
yes. In fact, I have a friend from Saudi Muslim and another friend from Jordan, Palestinian, whatever.
Would you go back to Beirut if you could?
Yes, for vacation, yes. I love to go and see it. If it's peace of mind, if it's not dangerous.